Do not put that ring on her finger, Rowan, not until you hear what I buried from you. The voice cut through the wedding garden like glass. Rowan Hale froze at the altar. The ocean behind the Newport estate kept shining. White flowers moved in the Atlantic wind. Guests turned in their chairs, confused and breathless. Across from him stood his bride, Elise Monroe, calm in her ivory gown. But Rowan was no longer looking at Elise. At the end of the aisle stood Mara Voss. 5 years had changed her, but not enough. Rowan whispered, "Mara." The name shook loose something inside him. And now, on the day he was supposed to become another woman's husband, she had returned. Elise slowly let go of Rowan's hands. "Elise," Rowan said, "I can explain." Elise looked at him with quiet sadness. "No," she said, "she can." 5 years earlier, Rowan was a young architect in Boston, building his name on hospital renovations. Mara was an ICU nurse at Massachusetts General, only 23, but already carrying the exhaustion of someone much older. One winter evening, after a brutal shift, she misread a medication dose. The patient survived, but only after alarms screamed, doctors rushed in, and Mara stood frozen beneath the white hospital lights. Outside the emergency entrance, she sat on the curb in wrinkled scrubs, coffee spilled beside her shoes, hands trembling in her lap. That was where Rowan found her. He was carrying design plans for a new trauma wing. He stopped, bought another coffee from the lobby, and placed it beside her. "You look like you need this more than I do," Rowan said. Mara did not smile. "I almost killed someone," she whispered. Rowan sat beside her anyway. That was how their love began, not in warmth but in survival. Rowan waited after her shifts. Mara sometimes talked, sometimes cried, sometimes fell asleep in his car before saying a word. On better nights, they walked through Boston after midnight, past closed bakeries and wet streets glowing under traffic lights. Once, Mara said she missed morning light. Rowan remembered. He never told her. He wanted it to be a promise. But Mara was slipping. Rowan stayed closer. Mara hated herself for needing him. The night everything broke, rain hammered the hospital parking lot. Rowan waited under a street lamp with an umbrella in one hand and a leather drafting tube in the other. Inside the tube was the house. Inside his pocket was a ring. Mara stepped out, drained and gray-eyed. Rowan opened the velvet box. "Marry me," he said. "Leave Boston with me. Let me take you somewhere quiet." For 1 second, hope stood between them. Then Mara saw the future in his hands and felt only terror. "I have nothing left to give you," she said. "You do," Rowan answered. "You have you." That kindness destroyed her. She grabbed the drafting tube, pulled out the blueprint, and tore it down the middle. Rain swallowed the paper. Ink bled into the pavement. Rowan stared at the broken lines, not yet knowing she had torn apart the home he designed for them. Mara stepped back. "Stop trying to save me," she said. "Do not wait for a woman who is already gone." Then she walked into the rain and vanished. Mara had gone to a quiet town near Savannah, Georgia, where no one knew her name. 2 months later, she learned she was pregnant. Then she lost the baby before she found the courage. After that, guilt became her home. She believed she had destroyed Rowan's dream, broken his heart, and failed a child he never knew existed. So she stayed gone. Rowan rebuilt himself badly at first. He worked too much, slept too little, avoided rain, avoided hospitals. Then Elise entered his life at a charity gala in Providence. She was not dramatic. She did not chase the parts of him he kept locked. She simply stayed. She once said, "I do not need to replace your past, Rowan. I just need to know whether I am truly part of your future." That was why she had invited Mara. But because Elise refused to marry a man whose heart still listened for footsteps from 5 years ago. In the private bridal suite, the air felt too thin. Outside, the ocean kept moving as if people did not break under beautiful skies. Rowan heard it beyond the glass and felt how cruel the ordinary world could be here. Mara stood near the wall. Rowan stood across from her. Elise remained by the window, steady and silent. Rowan said, "Why did you leave me like I meant nothing?" Mara closed her eyes. "Because you meant everything." Rowan shook his head. "That is not an answer." Mara's voice broke. "I was pregnant when I left." Rowan went still. Mara continued, each word harder than the last. "I found out in Georgia I was going to call you. Then I lost the baby before I could." Rowan sat down as if the floor had moved. "You let me mourn a breakup," he said, "while you mourned our child alone." Mara nodded, tears falling silently. I thought I had already ruined enough of your life. If you have listened to the story till now, Soul Stories Untold team, thank you from the heart. Just one request, subscribe to our channel for more dramatic and emotional content in the future from us. Let's start again. Rowan stood, and for one dangerous moment the old instinct returned. He wanted to cross the room. He wanted to hold her. Elise saw it. She did not beg. She did not move. That quiet strength made Rowan hurt even more. Before anyone could speak, pounding struck the door. A young man burst in, breathless. "Rowan, Elise, it is Uncle Peter. He collapsed on the lawn." The room changed instantly. Mara moved first, not like a broken woman, like a nurse. She ran through the hallway, across the marble steps, and onto the grass. Peter Monroe lay near the aisle, face gray, lips blue, body terribly still. Guests stood frozen. Mara dropped to her knees and pressed 2 fingers to his neck. "No pulse," she said. "Call 911, bring the AED now." Her voice had no fear in it. She began compressions, hard, steady, relentless. "Stay with me, Peter," Mara said. "Not here, not today." Rowan stood a few feet away, unable to breathe. For 5 years, he had remembered Mara as the woman who ruined him. Now he saw something else. When the ambulance finally came, Peter had a pulse. The sirens faded down the coastal road, leaving the estate stunned and quiet. Mara stood near the garden wall, muddy and trembling. Rowan found her there. "You saved him," he said. "He needs a hospital," Mara replied. "But he has a chance because of you." Mara looked away. Rowan stepped closer, careful. Mara whispered, "You should have hated me." "No," Rowan said. "I should have known you were drowning." Mara turned then, eyes wet and tired. "You were not my doctor, Rowan. You were the man I loved, and I was too broken to love you without dragging you under." Rowan looked back toward the altar. Elise stood there waiting in silence. He said, "I can stop this." Mara's face changed. "No, Mara, no," she repeated. "Do not destroy her life because you feel guilty about mine." Rowan's jaw tightened. "I loved you." "I know," Mara said. "I loved you too." The words were soft but final. "Love is not always enough when timing dies," she said. "Elise stayed. She helped you live. Do not make her pay because I finally told the truth." Rowan looked at Mara and saw the girl from the hospital curb. He saw everything that mattered. And still, he knew it was over. Mara gave him a small, broken smile. "Let me be your past with dignity." Rowan closed his eyes. When he opened them, something had shifted. "You were never nothing," he said. Mara nodded. "Then go choose your life." Rowan walked back to Elise. Elise searched his face. "Are you here because she told you to come?" Elise asked. Rowan took her hands. "No," he said. "I am here because I finally understand what choosing means." Elise's eyes filled. Rowan said, "I cannot pretend the past did not matter, but I will not let it take the future from us." The wedding continued without perfection, but it continued with truth. That evening, Mara sat alone at T.F. Green Airport while rain tapped softly against the windows. She opened the worn notebook she had carried for years. Inside were names, patients she could not save, mistakes she could not forgive, a child she had never named. Then she wrote one word, Peter, not as a failure, as proof. Her hand was steady. For the first time in years, the notebook did not feel like a graveyard. It felt like a door. Some love stories do not end because the love was false. They end because pain arrives too early, healing arrives too late, and the heart learns that holding on can become another kind of harm. And sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do is not fight to return to the life they lost. Sometimes it is walking away gently, so everyone left behind can finally live.